Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us finish off this communication chapter. And in the last video, we stopped at groupware, and then groupware is a computer software that we can use among the team members in the organization to share information within the organization. But sometimes employees are reluctant or resist of using groupware when they think that they are working primarily on their own, so they do not want to share. And then people are rewarded for their own individual performances. That is also the danger. So if you are rewarding your employees based on their personal performance or individual performance, it is very difficult for you to develop a good groupware among the team members, because in the previous video or slides we have already mentioned that if you want to use a groupware, the organization must compensate the whole team, must reward the whole team for the team performance. Collaboration software is a groupware that promotes, facilitates collaborative, highly interdependent interactions and provides an electronic meeting site for communication among team members. So this would allow more highly integrated communication system among the groupware or the team within the organization. That is quite general on the groupware. So let us go into the next one. All right, barriers to effective communication. So there are many reasons why communication becomes ineffective. The first one is that messages that are unclear, incomplete, difficult to understand. So sometimes messages are sent over the inappropriate medium. For example, if you want to talk about nak buat apa personal punya teguran for the employees, and it is not nice or inappropriate for us to use the medium of WhatsApp. Right. So maybe for that kind of communication, kita nak kena personally telephone this person or send them an email. And then messages with no provision for feedback. It's just like a one-way communication. That is also not effective. And then messages that are received but ignored. Nowadays, when we use WhatsApp services, now they can turn off the blue tick. Kan? So dia ada dua tick but it is not blue, kan? So kita pun tak pasti dia orang baca ataupun tidak. So that also can create another level of barrier to effective communication. So as senders, kan? Communication skills for managers as senders. So there are 7 skills that we need to learn. The first one, we need to learn that messages, we need to learn to send messages that are clear and complete, and then encode messages in symbols that receive understands. Select a medium that is appropriate for the message. We need to be very choosy in terms of the medium of communication, which one is the right one. For example, when we talk about dealing with all new students, for example, and so which medium that is the most appropriate one? If I'm depending upon only on you future, and we might not be able to be at the stage where we are at the moment, and maybe we still left behind by not having group WhatsApp and everything, and so we need to pick the right channel of communication in order for us to expedite the communication process between us in the group. And then select a medium that the receiver monitors. Kalau saya nak depend on in future pun, masa mula-mula pun, it is not going to be effective. So kita based on video and WhatsApp. And then avoid filtering and information distortion. Kan? Maksud dia, kalau if you want to share, we share them all. Jangan ada distorted. Contohnya kalau saya ada 3 video untuk communication, if I only be able to upload video 1 and video 3, and so dia ada distortion of information. And then ensure that a feedback mechanism is built into messages and the last one, provide accurate information to ensure that misleading rumors are not spread. And then we need to try to sometimes we use jargon, a specialized language that members of an occupation, group, or organization develop to facilitate communication among themselves. Should never be used when communicating with people outside the occupation, group, or organization. For example, as academicians, we have jargons like CDL, CQI, in which only the lecturers would understand that. So when we communicate with the students, we don't use that kind of languages because there is no way that the students could understand in terms of the meaning of the term. So same goes in communication. So if we should know the level of communication to whom that we are communicating with, so that we can use the right jargons or terms specifically applicable to that particular group. Unless you are a serious photographer, you may not understand the term f-stop, bokeh, white balance, backlight, and full frame, for example. And then filtering, withholding part of the message because of the mistaken belief that the receiver does not need or will not want the information. So that also could sometimes distort the communication process, or it will affect in terms of the effectiveness of the communication. Change the meaning of the message as the message passes through a series of senders and receivers. Especially happen when we are in the chain of communication, like when we play a telephone call, telephone buruk. And the information is being passed from one person to another person. Dan daripada cerita Mak Beda sampai kat the last person, dia boleh jadi cerita Makcik Timah, for example. And so as the information being passed through one level to another level, the content, the intended meaning of the message has been changed totally, and then that also might distort the information. And lastly, what are the communication skills for the managers as receivers? And if we are in the role as a receiver or managers as receivers, so number one, yes, you need to pay attention lah, and try to avoid the noise, try to limit, try to control the noise affecting the communication process, and then be empathetic, and then be a good listener. That is the most important skill lah. And as a good, even when you become a manager in the future, try to force yourself to become a good listener. Sometimes you can become a much better leader, and if you are able to listen to the intended messages or the complaints, the issues experienced by your staff or by your colleagues or your employees within your organization. So I reckon that would be the end of our chapter. So the most important thing in this particular chapter is that you need to understand the communication process first. And from the sender, we'll encode, and then we'll select the channel, and then the receiver will decode the message, and then we'll provide the feedback loop back to the sender in order to confirm, to verify information that they have actually received. So that's with regards to the communication processes. And then when we talk about information richness, the face-to-face is the most effective ones. Because of why? Because through face-to-face, not only that you can get that information directly from the sender, but at the same time, you can observe the body language, the facial expression of the sender. That also play a major and significant role dalam effective communication. So I reckon that would be the end of the chapter. So all the best, and I will see you again in the next video. Assalamualaikum and good day.